Australian architect Robin Boyd employed modernist principles and materials in design and construction of his Wall Street house in 1958 and the Featherston house in 1969 that changed the way we viewed modern home in Australia. Boyd challenged the public's view on the benefits of modernism, and he believed that housing should maintain a connection to the Australian landscape, where he disliked bad design featurism, instead portraying urban design. Boyd expresses a new way of thinking, innovation, sociability, and for enjoyment. His unique designs exceed the typical traditional home. Similarly, contemporary architect Allan Powell uses similar principles and elements through the materials and landscape aspects, evident in the construction of the Lawn House in 2014 and the Cregan House in 1989, that show connections to the principles that Robin Boyd used. Victorian architect Robin Boyd was born in 1919, and his design career took flight, experiencing many life achievements, leaving a significant impact on the design industry. Boyd began his architectural journey studying at night at the Melbourne Technical College after school, as well as the Melbourne University Architectural Area. At the time, he also worked at a bank office of A&K Henderson for 3 years. At this particular job of writing editorials, Boyd founded the monthly newsfold Smudges, writing newspaper columns in The Age, The Herald, and The Australian, writing about his passion and thoughts associated with design. His design philosophy developed where Boyd encouraged people to extend their thinking and expectations beyond the known and the given, urging people to reassess and innovate, and most importantly, he led by example. Boyd became the director of the Small Home Service in 1947, along with The Age during this time, later during the 50s and 60s becoming a public educator, after forming a partnership with Frederick and Romberg and Roy Grounds called Romberg and Boyd in 1962. Boyd accomplished many other successes and achievements in his lifetime, including the Gold Medal for the Australian Institute of Architects in 1969, and wrote books, particularly two of his well-known classics, The Australian Ugliness in 1960 and Australia's Home in 1952. He later died in 1971. Robin Boyd had an advanced way of thinking, creating innovative designs in his time. He showed modern design through the Small Home Service, which led to modernity after the World War. The formation of the small design homes allowed for a new modernistic and minimalist designs that were affordable and cheap for the public to gain access post-war. He showed modernisation through the advanced way of thinking, creating innovative designs. One of these design examples is the Wall Street house, created in 1957, where this design focuses on the courtyard element and a unique curved roof. He portrayed modernity through the rejection of past values, using white within the interior of the houses to create a sense of new beginnings evident within the Featherston house. The Wall Street house is styled appropriately with modern furniture to correlate and connect to the overall design. His choice of natural materials as well as the structure of the house express modernity. Robin Boyd used many different design principles and elements in the creation of his design ideas and processes. He typically used lots of nature in his designs to show the Australian landscape and create a sense of comfort. Boyd demonstrated truth to materials evident in his designs, where he would use materials such as wood and stone for a natural feel through these elements in homes, which express modernity. This is evident through the Boyd Baker house design, where the dominant material used is stone for both the interior and exterior of the design. This natural element intertwining landscape is also evident within the Wall Street house and the Featherston house, where the design involves lots of natural materials such as wood and stone and exposed brick. This connection allows the homes to feel grounded in the Australian setting, ensuring the home feels serene. Typically, these aspects correlate to the furniture evident within his designs to encourage a sociable and enjoyable space. Boyd's designs often incorporated large open spaces to create a sense of connectedness, designed for a sociable and enjoyable atmosphere. In relation to this, Boyd used lots of glass within his designs to further imply a large space, which was a way of showing the industrial age and the use of new materials. An example of this is led by the Featherston house and the Wall Street house, where large amounts of glass is used to allow lots of light and creates an open feel, making the spaces seem brighter and connects with the nature outside beyond the glass. Another principle Boyd used was incorporating white colours to portray a sense of new beginnings and new ideas through the good design, showing the modernisation of homes and the practicality that the design provides. Modern design should express the qualities and beauties of the materials used, never making the materials seem to be what they are not. Robin Boyd demonstrated this as he used lots of natural materials, being wood and stone, in his designs, showing honesty and truth to the materials used. He also used steel and glass within his designs, showing the use of the industrial age of modern machine. The Wall Street house expresses these qualities through the steel stairs, exposed pipes in the bathrooms and other areas of the home. Boyd made elaborate and unique designs which fulfill the practical need of life. The homes he designed were for practical use but had elements which made them distinctive from other homes. As practicality was an important feature, his designs were also simple and minimalistic for this purpose. The fundamental aspect of practicality was clearly featured within the small home service, showing the designs are practical as they were affordable plans for families to buy during the post-World War II period. The sensitivity to the environment and lifestyle ensured homes are suitable for their practical needs. The furniture within the homes also related to the principles and elements correlating to the specific home to create an overall connection to the space. This included using the same materials and using simplistic modernistic designs for practicality as well as aesthetics. Robin Boyd believed that good design would change and transform the world. Boyd challenged the cultural lag. He wanted Australians to experience success on their own terms, to lead rather than to follow in designing and planning the newly expanding cities, to write their own agenda, distancing the patronising cult of a derived urban mediocrity. Boyd used good design as a way of thinking, not as a style itself, creating expressive and unique buildings that were still sustainable and efficient in their use. The Wall Street house, for example, Boyd designed a courtyard centered within the house was a modern way of thinking. The curvature of the roof made the house unique and expressed the connection with the nature, allowing openness to the outdoor environment, ultimately showing social change as the design is alternative to common familiar housing designs, influencing the public and other designers on what good design is and the beneficial impact this provides. The impact and role Boyd had on the small home service was a historical influence on design. The small home service was created to be affordable, cheap, and sustainable, and practical for families under the post-war circumstances, where it was a cultural and social change with impact due to the shortage of materials. The service provided Boyd's opinion and critique using the media to his benefit, where his influence impacted and showed difference in the world with a social backdrop. Relating to the new age he aimed to depict, the service was a political agent committed to the advocacy of good design. Home plans show the interior and exterior of homes, and some using open spaces. The side views are included to show different angles of the homes, allowing consumers to see alluring design elements such as a flat slanted roof, timber panels, and large glass windows. Allan Powell is a contemporary designer. He graduated from the University of Melbourne in architecture as well as a master's degree in architecture from RMIT in 1992. Powell's designs demonstrated similarities with the design thinking and principles that Boyd used in his own design creations, such as the use of materials, innovation, and purposes. Similar to Boyd, his works used natural elements, such as the exterior structure of the lawn house using timber panels and stones, also incorporating an internal courtyard, a typical feature that Boyd used in his own designs, expressing a strong connection to the Australian landscape. The flat roof of the lawn house expresses modern designs, as it is a feature that traditional homes did not use. Similar to Boyd, he would imagine how others would use and interact with the space, designing it to create an experience. Linking to Boyd's ideas prompting good design and truth to materials, as well as form follows function. The Cregan house uses lots of white to portray a sense of new beginnings. He designed a unique shape which uses specific materials such as glass and timber and steel, representing the industrial age. The principles are reflected within the home and further relates to Boyd's philosophy. Robin Boyd's designs prompted and depicted good design, an influential movement of the modernisation. Boyd was successful in creating popular books and designing a range of homes, some of which designed for the small home service, important to the modernisation as it was a post-World War II period. The small home service related to the social, cultural and political aspect, giving identity to the new age. Boyd's designs were unique and innovative, using simplistic and practical designs different from most common housing creations. He followed the design principle in all of his designs, including those of which from the small home service. The use of new materials, specifically natural materials, using honesty to materials from the industrial age. His designs incorporated nature. Allan Powell used these similar ideas as Robin Boyd, where his designs also reflected the modernisation through the use of his materials, ideas, and linking to the influence of Boyd.